Hello YouTube, I'm doing my twirl around to make sure this stays in full screen as I'm recording. I'm going to be giving some freezer tips today that will hopefully make your life better and run a little more efficiently. This is Neon. So let's open my freezer. First thing, if we look right here, we'll see that I have a whole bunch of sandwich bags full of ice. There's one here, that's ice, ice. Down here, this one's not quite frozen, here. If you keep your freezer half full or more, you wind up basically cutting in half the amount of energy it takes to maintain your freezer working. So your freezer will last longer, your refrigerator will last longer, it won't burn as much steam. So because I don't have a lot of food right now, I'm not in the mood for cooking, I'm storing an unusually large amount of ice, right, to keep it at least half full. These are going in the trash, these tomatoes, I'm covering the name, but I put them in there so they don't go bad in the freezer or in the fridge. This here is a bag of trash, some cans of vegetables, and other stuff that's got food on it. I store that in the freezer so that roaches won't smell it, so it doesn't attract bugs. Cut up vegetables. I have a lot of these in here. Red and orange chilies. I found these really cheaply. These are Brussels sprouts, broccoli, no, cauliflower. Back here, y'all know I want to cuss right now, but I can't because I'm on YouTube. Right here, this is green bell pepper. There's 4 bags of these in there. I got a bunch of them on sale. So what I do with these is I cut them in small pieces, put them in sandwich bags, and store them in the freezer. My freezer is semi-frost free, but so it's not a problem. My vegetables I use in soups, so it makes the soups very hearty and very healthy. Now, I don't want to keep my freezer open too long. When a person stores vegetables in their freezer, they will store for at least a month, but most vegetables will store probably for perhaps 3 months or 6 months. You just got to look up on Google to find out depending on the vegetable. But my experience is reliably 3 months and sometimes longer. So if you're poor like me and you see a vegetable that's on sale, you can get it, clean it, cut it into pieces you would use for your soup, and put it in the freezer, and you'll have that vegetable in the future so that you don't have to just go out and buy it when it's full price. So it's an opportunity for you to save money and have a healthy diet available for you. What else? Soups. These here, I'm trying to cover the label. This is actually ice. And then the ones behind it is soup. You can't really see it, sorry. Back here is soup. Here's another soup. One of them is actually ham hocks with pinto beans. There's a soup there, and there's bread here. Now, I'll get my bread from either a community center, occasionally on the street, because I can't afford to pay $2 or more for bread. You can freeze bread, and even though my freezer is semi-frost free, it doesn't build enough frost for it to be a problem. So it's not like my bread winds up being soaked once I take it out of the freezer. Because my bread is close to the date, I don't even take the whole loaf out. I'll take out 6, 8 slices at a time. And then I put those in the fridge, right? This is a couple slices. I only eat 1 or 2 slices of bread per day. I'm covering the brand, but the only reason that whole loaf is out is because I had taken out in small plastic bags that I steal from Food for Less, right? These little plastic bags. I take them out 8 or 9 slices and I put them in those bags, and then I stick them in the fridge. Once the loaf is down to about like maybe 8 or 9 slices, then I take the whole loaf down. So this ensures that I have bread. And as I said, this bread I think I got it for free, or I paid very little at a community center. And I think it's organic, and it's like sprouted grain bread, so it's very healthy. So it's very important to have a healthy life, right? Ground turkey, ground beef, eventually I'll make those. I still have some beef stew left. I call it stew, but it's really more of a stew. And then I do need to make my turkey. I'm kind of depressed, so I'm putting this off till I have the energy. Cheese. Cheese can be frozen, particularly for cooking. As you can see, this is grated cheese. It's grated cheese. A little bit of frost is built up, but it's not a problem. And the quality of it when I bought it on the street, that's a 5-pound bag that's probably got about 2 or 3 pounds left. The quality wasn't that good. It was somewhat melted, so I immediately freeze it, and I only use it for cooking. I don't use it for anything else. I don't use ice trays because what ends up happening is that they always wind up breaking on me. This is a broken ice tray I set to the side, but more often than not, these break. You know, you could make the argument, well, in the long term, won't it cost more money to freeze bags? It just depends. What do you value more, money or time, or space for your freezer? These bags of ice, like this sandwich bag full of ice, it freezes quicker I would say than the whole ice tray would freeze, and it has a lot more ice. I'm going to show you how I break this ice in a minute. But if you're pressed for time, if you eat a lot of ice with your drinks or whatever, like I do, I go through 3-4 bags a day because we're during the summer, then that might be a more efficient way for you. And I'm going to show you how I break the ice right now. Pausing. Hello YouTube, I'm back. So I'm going to show you how I break it. It's pretty simple. There was a learning curve for me, but anyway, I take the hammer and I kind of tap it like that. The ice that fell off is just a little bit of frost. My hand's getting cold right now. And this works for me, you know? You're going to take it like that a little bit, open it up, and boom. My bucket of ice is already full, so I don't need this. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this back in my freezer as is. I'm going to pause this again. Hi YouTube. So these were some of the tips that I use to help make my life better. When you're poor, you really need to be smarter. And one of the biggest tips that I got was online, which was that any vegetable, and really even any fruit, that is used for cooking can be frozen. And it doesn't mess up the texture or anything. You don't want to freeze an apple, of course, if you plan on eating it fresh, but you could prepare your apples if you, I don't know, gonna make a pie. And you cut them up, clean them, and then store them in plastic bags, just like I'm doing with these vegetables. And to make sure I have a variety of vegetables at all times, since I can't always get vegetables cheaply. So this necessarily need to. If y'all saw that, and you know what it is, you know it's not harmful, but it is a little lustful. Anyway, and so that'll help your freezer run well. The whole thing of me keeping all this ice in there so the freezer doesn't break, my freezer was purchased by the people, or my fridge. It's a 14 cubic foot fridge, and I really like the ratio of the size of the freezer to the refrigerator. The first refrigerator that I had broke after 3 years, and this refrigerator is going on, my gosh, is going on 4 years. So I've been really cautious to keep the freezer half full at all times. I don't want to have it break down like the other one did, and I lose food, and they ask me a bunch of stupid questions and give me stupid advice like, well, don't keep your refrigerator open, and it usually will take them a couple of days to replace the refrigerator. The first one, they sent a guy over, he fixed it, and then it broke immediately right after. they sent him again, and he was like, you need a new fridge. So that's about it. And those are some tips, and hopefully you know, you can benefit from one or more of those tips. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share, comment commercials, recommend my videos. Do one or more of those things. Best wishes.